I'm going to talk to you today about the Axiwi full duplex referee communication system, which was recently voted by 96% of referees as their preferred choice, and it's our preferred choice of communications as well. Why? Well, traditional radio communications normally rely on things like these walkie-talkies. There are lots of different ones around, some at the low budget end, and then the good quality ones can be very, very expensive. But they rely on a traditional two-way working, which means that when the referee, for example, needs to talk to an assistant referee, then they will press a button, the radio waves will be transmitted, and they'll be picked up by the other units. Then when an assistant referee needs to talk back to the referee, he has to press a button as well, and that radio signal gets transmitted back. Now, very traditional system. The downside of this is only one person can talk at any one time, first of all. But the other downside is that the referee has to also press a button before they can talk. Given the fact that the referee is going to be in an 80-minute game making over 2,000 decisions, that's another number of decisions that they don't have to make. So what we want to do is look at something called a full duplex system. So a full duplex system, well, it's just like having a large open telephone conference, really. There is two-way communication all the way through the conversation. There is no buttons to press. There are push-to-talk buttons available if you want to use that technology, if it's something you're used to, or for example, for a television match official or a fourth official to break into a conversation with a replacement. But up to 6 people can talk together on the new AT350, and a staggering 250 people can listen to any of the conversations. Now, obviously, we're not going to need that in sport. That's more for museum tours or factory tours, that type of thing. But it does mean that we can have numerous people listening into the conversation, and we'll see in a moment just how we can do that within the rugby setting. So within the rugby setting, if we take a typical match, we would normally have a referee in the middle, number one there, with his Axiwi, and he is set to be something called the master, and we'll go into that a little later on. On each of the sidelines then we have assistant referees with their flags, and they are using the Axiwi system as well. If they have it fully open, which is the duplexing system, then all three of those can communicate in a fluid, open conversation at any one time. That makes things really, really simple for the referee as they're running away from a play that's just finished, moving over to the next phase of play. If they're concerned about something on the floor, players not getting up, without having to think about pressing buttons or anything else like that, he can simply verbalise, keep an eye on those please, and the assistant referee knows straight away. Similarly, if the referee is unsighted on a pass or potential knock-on, he can very simply say, have you got anything there? Is that okay? Assistant referees, again with no delay whatsoever, can reply as a yes, yes, or a no, it's a knock-on. So this whole duplexing system makes the communications between the team of 3 match officials absolutely superb. But it has more than that. So we could have a substitute controller here, number 4 on this diagram. We would call them the 4th official or technical zone manager. And they're the ones that will communicate to say that there are replacements needed. And again, rather than having a full open system with all 4, the 3 officials, the referee and the 2 assistant referees will be fully open. And the 4th official, whenever they want to make a substitution or a change, they can just press the button on the front of the unit or use a push to talk, whichever they prefer, and they will break into the conversation as well, and then they can finish that. Similarly, somebody who is a match commissioner or a timekeeper. There are a number of benefits of using a full duplex communication system whilst refereeing. First of all, it engages the entire match official team. It assists in proactive game management with easy to confirm crucial information throughout the game. The communication is speedy, there's no delay in pressing a button or delay in using an old Vox system, for example, and it helps to assist with good decision making. So, for example, a referee who may well be unsighted at a tackle can easily communicate without pressing any buttons and without thinking to the assistant referees to say, is that tackle okay? Similarly, the assistant referee can come in with a simple yes, yes, or a no, high tackle, white 13, for example. So those live communications become much, much more effective when using a full duplex system than any old traditional system. It also helps with coaching and development as well. Not only can a performance reviewer listen to the conversations and the communications that you're having with players on the pitch, but in particular for young or new referees, it's a great tool for a coach or a developer to use at downtime. So when the ball is dead, to say, look, just try and vary your position at that ruck. Have a look a bit more at the offside line, for example. And in that way, instead of waiting until the game is finished and we go into a debrief situation, we can actually, as educators, give some useful snippets in the game to try and change that behaviour. And that creates a better learning environment for the match official as well. So here is the brand new Axiwi A350. Like its predecessors, it's a very small unit, can easily be worn in an armband, on a radio belt, or even just tucked at the top of your shirt like many people do. And to that end, it has an improved IP54 water and dust rating. It's still only 70 grams even with the battery, but it has an awful lot of additional features or improvements from its predecessors. For a start, it operates in the 863 to 865 megahertz bracket, which means it's less susceptible to having interference from other radio signals. It has improved quality and clarity of sound as well. The range has been improved to up to 300 meters, which means you could use it for other things around your tournament, for example, running scores backwards and forwards from pitch to control. And it can have up to 6 live speakers, as we said earlier on, and a whopping 250 people listening. Unlike its predecessor, this has 8 channels, which means it's ideal for those sevens tournaments where you're operating on multiple pitches. You don't have to worry about cross interference. And to help with that, there's a whopping 10-hour battery life as well. Like all Axiwi products, all the accessories are a simple 3.5mm jack. So if you've got your own preferred headset already because you've used the previous models of Axiwi, that's fine. You can still use them with this one as well. Now, the Axiwi systems are very, very simple to understand. Here we have an Axiwi A320, and you can see just how small it is. They're all identical, but they have to be set up in very slightly different ways, but it's really, really simple. First of all, we have to have something called a master. Now, the master controls all of the communications, and we often give that to the referee on the pitch in the middle. And to do that, we just press 2 buttons on the 320 so that the channel indicator, here shown with 4 lights on the 350, it's a little LCD screen, and it shows and stays on. That now shows me that the master unit is live, and it will always be broadcasting with an open microphone. To set the other ones up, we simply press and hold the power button until the light flashes. That's now what we call a slave unit. So we need to plug the headset in, and they come in various different forms. This one has the acoustic tube over the ear and a microphone that just sits on the front of your shirt. And anything that I say now is being broadcast by this master unit. In order to listen, we put another headset in. We can have another one of the acoustic tubes. We can have a boom microphone. We can even have one that's just used for performance reviewers. So it's a listen only. They can't talk back. So let's plug one in, and that now means that this unit can hear everything that's coming from the master. Now, in order for the slave to be able to transmit, we press on the A320, we press the S button, and you'll notice that the lights all come on with the channel selected flashing. That means that now both of these units are communicating simultaneously. So anything that's said by the master or the slave can be heard by everybody, and these guys can hear it as well. Should you need to talk to a player, let's say you're an assistant referee and you need to talk to a player behind the posts at try time and you don't want to disturb the referee because he's talking to another player, then we simply press the S button. That means what I say now cannot be heard by anybody else. When I finish this conversation, I can then just press the S button again, and that means that I am fully open and live once more. It really is that simple to use the Axiwi system. There are no complicated bits of kit or repeaters or technicians required. Anybody can do so with great ease. Refcoms Global was set up in 2019 as a not-for-profit organisation whose aim it is to help develop opportunities and resources for match officials worldwide in a number of sports. One of those organisations that we are working with together with Axiwi is Sevens Referee, a group of like-minded match officials in the rugby sevens game who have recently come together to provide opportunity to young match officials to develop their skills within sevens refereeing, to take them to tournaments and to give them expert coaching and advice whilst they are there. With the partnership between Axiwi and Refcoms Global, we can now extend this assistance even further, and Sevens Referee will be benefiting, as with other organisations, from the sales of Axiwi communication systems through Refcoms Global. We'll be providing referees opportunity to travel to new countries, to experience new cultures, new way of doing things, and to develop their skills with expert coaching in a different environment. They can take that back to their home nation and help with the growth of the game where they live. Similarly, we will also be sending coaches and referees to those countries to help to bring on people there, to run courses for them, and to develop their own coaches in those countries. And that happens across a number of sports, not just in rugby. So by buying from Refcoms Global, you will be helping match officials from around the world to get opportunities and resources to develop and grow no matter what the game. All of the profits from sales of Axiwi through Refcoms Global are ploughed straight back into the sports.